the Hells Angels. Just the name evokes a rush of adrenaline, a sense of danger, a world shrouded in mystery. For decades, they've been demonized by the media, portrayed as lawless rebels, a menace to society. But what's the reality behind the headlines? What's the truth about the men who wear the winged death head on their backs? This is a story about brotherhood, loyalty, and a code of honor that runs deeper than most can imagine. It's time to peel back the layers of sensationalism and delve into the heart of the Hells Angels to understand their culture, their values, and their way of life. This journey will take us beyond the roar of the engines and the intimidating facade. We'll explore the history of the club, tracing its roots back to its post-war beginnings. We'll uncover the camaraderie and brotherhood that binds these men together, a bond forged in shared experiences and unwavering loyalty. This isn't about glorifying criminal activity or condoning violence. It's about understanding a subculture that has captured the public's imagination for generations. It's about separating fact from fiction and recognizing the humanity beneath the leather and the tattoos. It's time to ride alongside the Hells Angels, not in judgment, but in search of truth. To truly grasp the essence of the Hells Angels, we must shed our preconceived notions, the images seared into our minds by Hollywood and news reports. The media often paints them as one-dimensional villains, but the truth is far more complex. These men are sons, fathers, brothers, friends. They have hopes, dreams, and fears just like anyone else. Their world is governed by a strict code of conduct, a set of unwritten rules that dictate their every move. These rules, passed down through generations of members, emphasize loyalty, respect, and honor. They are the foundation upon which the entire Hells Angels brotherhood is built. It's important to acknowledge that the club has had its share of controversies, and we won't shy away from those difficult conversations. We'll examine the accusations, the legal battles, and the dark side of their history, but we'll do so with a commitment to objectivity, presenting all sides of the story. This is not an attempt to romanticize the Hells Angels or excuse their wrongdoings. It's an invitation to understand the forces that have shaped them, the societal factors that led to their formation and continue to influence their existence today. It's about looking beyond the stereotypes and seeing the human beings behind the patches. What is it about the Hells Angels that has captivated the public imagination for so long? Perhaps it's the allure of rebellion, the freedom of the open road, or the deep sense of brotherhood. They represent a subculture with its own rules and codes of conduct. For the Hells Angels, riding is a way of life, a form of self-expression. It's a journey to understand the Hells Angels, not just as a motorcycle club, but as a complex social phenomenon. To understand the Hells Angels, you've got to go back, way back to the aftermath of World War II. Picture America, 1940s. Soldiers, back from the horrors of war, struggled to find their place in a society that felt foreign, their adrenaline-fueled experiences clashing with the monotony of civilian life. These men craved the brotherhood, the purpose, the raw intensity they found on the battlefield. Enter the motorcycle, loud, powerful, a symbol of freedom and rebellion. It became a lifeline for these veterans, a way to recapture the thrill, the camaraderie, the sense of belonging they desperately missed. Small motorcycle clubs began to spring up across the country, each with their own identity, their own patch, their own code. One of these clubs, formed in Fontana, California in 1948, would soon become synonymous with the outlaw biker culture, the Hells Angels. The name, some say, was inspired by the Flying Tigers, a legendary air squadron from the war. These men, like the fighter pilots they admired, were drawn to the allure of danger, the thrill of living life on their own terms. The early Hells Angels weren't saints. They were rough around the edges, known for their hard living, their love of bikes, and their disdain for authority. But beneath the rough exterior, a code of honor was emerging, a loyalty to the club and its members that ran deeper than blood. Section 2. The post-war rumble, disillusionment, and the birth of rebellion. America in the 50s was all about conformity, about fitting in, about the American dream, but for some, that dream felt more like a cage. The Hells Angels, those outlaw bikers, rejected that sanitized vision. They embraced the fringe, the margins, the freedom found on the open road and in the company of their brothers. These bikers weren't joining the Rotary Club. They were the blue-collar rebels, the ones who didn't shy away from a fight, who lived by their own rules, who found solace in the roar of the engine and the strength of the pack. The open road became their escape, their rebellion, their middle finger to a world that didn't understand them. As their numbers grew, so did their reputation. The media, hungry for stories, latched onto the Hells Angels' rebellious image. Newspaper headlines screamed about brawls, about run-ins with the law, about a motorcycle gang terrorizing towns. This sensationalized reporting cemented their image as outlaws, a label they wore with a mixture of pride and defiance. But the truth, as always, was more nuanced. While there were undoubtedly confrontations and clashes with the law, the Hells Angels also formed tight-knit communities. They looked out for their own organized rides and, yes, sometimes found themselves on the wrong side of the law. But their brotherhood, their loyalty to each other, remained their defining characteristic. Section 3. The Pissed-Off Bastards of Bloomington, a legacy forged in leather. The 1947 Hollister riot forever altered the public perception of the Hells Angels. A motorcycle rally spiraled into chaos, fueled by alcohol and adrenaline. The media had a field day. Photos of bikers sprawled on sidewalks and police struggling were splashed across newspapers. The Hells Angels became the face of the riot. The term outlaw motorcycle gang was born. Ironically, it fueled their notoriety, attracting new recruits. Despite negative press, the Hells Angels grew. They adopted the Death Head logo, a code of conduct solidified within their ranks. Loyalty, honor, and respect became their bedrock. Section 1. The Sacred Patch. More than just a symbol, to the outside world that winged Death Head might seem like a menacing emblem. But within the Hells Angels, it's a sacred symbol, a badge of honor. It's not just a patch, it's a declaration of belonging. Earning that patch is no walk in the park. It's a grueling process, a test of character and dedication. Prospective members are carefully watched, their commitment constantly evaluated. This period of prospecting can last for years. It's about trust, knowing that the man next to you would go to hell and back for you. It's about having each other's backs, through thick and thin. That patch represents a brotherhood forged in fire. More than just a symbol, the patch signifies a commitment to a strict code of conduct. It's a reminder of the responsibility that comes with wearing the colors. It's a constant reminder that actions speak louder than words. Brotherhood beyond blood, the unbreakable bond. The world often throws shade at the Hells Angels, calling them a gang, a criminal organization. But walk into a Hells Angels clubhouse and you'll feel it. The sense of family, the unwavering loyalty, the deep-rooted brotherhood that binds these men together. It's a bond forged in shared experiences, in the roar of the engines, in the face of adversity. A bond that runs deeper than any blood ties. This brotherhood isn't about blind obedience or mindless violence. It's about support, about knowing you're never alone, that someone always has your back. It's about standing together, shoulder to shoulder, facing whatever life throws your way, whether it's a rival gang, a legal battle, or the everyday struggles of life. Within the clubhouse walls, social status melts away. Doctors, lawyers, construction workers, war veterans, they're all brothers, equals bound by the shared patch on their backs. They celebrate together, mourn together, ride together, their lives intertwined in a tapestry of brotherhood. This bond extends beyond national borders. The Hells Angels is a global family, with chapters scattered across the globe. A Hells Angel from California can ride into a clubhouse in Germany, Australia, or Japan and be welcomed with open arms. The patch transcends language, culture, and background, a testament to the universal language of brotherhood. Living by the code honor among outlaws, the Hells Angels live by an unwritten code passed down through generations. Loyalty to the club and its members is paramount. Respect and honesty are cornerstones of their brotherhood. Their code emphasizes brotherhood, loyalty, and respect. The weight of respect earning your colors. In the Hells Angels, respect isn't given, it's earned. Prove yourself worthy of the patch of the brotherhood. Show up on time, pull your weight, be there for your brothers. Demonstrate reliability, responsibility and courage. Loyalty is absolute, unwavering. Respect is about earning your place, proving yourself. Live up to the club's code, uphold its values. It's a weight carried with pride, a bond shared. The image most people conjure when they hear Hells Angels is a bunch of rough-looking dudes in leather vests, chugging beers and raising hell. Sure, there's some truth to the biker lifestyle. The bikes are non-negotiable. And yeah, they know how to throw back a cold one, but there's more to these guys than meets the eye. They're fathers, husbands, even grandfathers. They work jobs, pay taxes, and have families to support. The life of a Hells Angel is a balancing act. On one hand, there's the brotherhood, the rides, the commitment to the club. On the other hand, there's the reality of everyday life. And these guys, they navigate it all. They might be out riding all night, but they'll be up early the next morning, taking their kids to school or heading to the construction site. Their lives are a testament to the fact that you can be a Hells Angel and still be a functional member of society. They might not wear suits to work, but they understand the value of hard work and responsibility. They might not talk about their feelings too much, but they'd do anything for their loved ones. It's easy to judge, to buy into the stereotypes, but spend some time with these guys and you'll see they're not that different from you and me. They have dreams, aspirations and fears just like everyone else. They just express it all a little differently, with a roar of the engine and the wind in their hair. The image most people conjure when they hear Hells Angels is a bunch of rough-looking dudes in leather vests, chugging beers and raising hell. Sure, there's some truth to the biker lifestyle. The bikes are non-negotiable, and yeah, they know how to throw back a cold one. But there's more to these guys than meets the eye. There's something almost spiritual about the way a Hells Angel talks about riding. It's not just transportation, it's a form of meditation, a way to clear your head, to feel truly free. The open road is their church, the rumble of their engines a prayer to the gods of freedom and rebellion. And when they ride together, it's a ritual, a powerful display of brotherhood and unity. These rides aren't just aimless wanderings, they're meticulously planned, with designated routes, stops and formations. Every member knows their place, their role in the pack. They ride in formation, a moving wall of chrome and leather, a testament to their discipline and organization. The rides are a chance to bond, to share stories, to escape the pressures of everyday life. They might be gone for days, even weeks at a time, covering hundreds, even thousands of miles. They'll ride through rain, shine, or even snow, their bikes an extension of themselves, their spirits unbreakable. But the rides are more than just a good time. They're also a way to show their colors, to make their presence known. When the Hells Angels roll into town, people notice. It's a reminder that they're a force to be reckoned with, a brotherhood that stands together, rides together, and lives by its own code. Drug trafficking and violent confrontations with rival gangs. And while it's important to acknowledge the darker side of their history, it's also important to remember that they're not a monolithic entity. Like any large organization, the Hells Angels have their share of bad apples, but to paint them all with the same brush is unfair and inaccurate. Many members live law-abiding lives, contributing to their communities and looking out for their neighbors. The Hells Angels walk a fine line between brotherhood and criminality. For a Hells Angel, the clubhouse is more than just a place to hang out. It's a sanctuary, a second home, a place where they can be themselves, surrounded by their brothers. It's a place where the outside world fades away, and the only thing that matters is the bond they share. The location of the clubhouse is a closely guarded secret known only to members and trusted associates. It's a place where they can escape the prying eyes of the media, the law, and anyone else who might misunderstand their way of life. Inside the clubhouse, the air is thick with cigarette smoke, the smell of engine oil, and the sound of rock and roll. The walls are adorned with murals, flags, and photos that tell the story of the club, its history, and its members. It's a visual representation of their brotherhood, a testament to the unbreakable bond they share. The clubhouse is also a place for meetings where they discuss club business, plan rides, and settle any disputes that may arise. These meetings are strictly confidential, and what happens within the clubhouse walls stays within the clubhouse walls. It's this code of silence, this unwavering loyalty to the club and its members, that has allowed the Hells Angels to thrive for decades, despite constant scrutiny and pressure from the outside world. The monster in the mirror, media distortion, and the cult of fear. Let's be real. The Hells Angels make for a hell of a story. The bikes, the tattoos, the outlaw image. It's a recipe for media frenzy. And the media, they love a good villain. Over the years, the Hells Angels have been demonized, sensationalized, turned into the boogeymen of society. But how much of what we see on TV, read in the papers, is actually true? The truth is, the media thrives on fear. They need a villain, a threat to keep the public hooked, and what's scarier than a bunch of leather-clad bikers with skulls on their backs? So they focus on the arrests, the brawls, the whispers of criminal activity. They paint the Hells Angels as a homogeneous mass of criminals, ignoring the individuals, the families, the everyday lives that exist behind the patch. This constant barrage of negative press has a real impact. It creates fear, prejudice, and misunderstanding. It makes it easy to dismiss the Hells Angels as nothing more than thugs, to ignore the complexity of their culture and the humanity of their members. It allows society to turn a blind eye to the social factors, the alienation, the search for belonging that contributes to the allure of the outlaw biker lifestyle. But the media isn't solely to blame. The Hells Angels, with their penchant for secrecy and their often confrontational approach, haven't exactly gone out of their way to court positive press. Their silence, their refusal to play the PR game, has only fueled the speculation and the myths. Breaking through these layers of distortion, separating fact from fiction, requires a conscious effort. It means looking beyond the headlines, questioning the narratives, and engaging with the Hells Angels on a human level. It means recognizing that the truth, as always, is far more nuanced and complex than any caricature. Truth and misconceptions. Dispelling the myths, one ride at a time. Are the Hells Angels a criminal organization? Law enforcement cites involvement in crime, but not all members are criminals. Many live peaceful lives, contributing to their communities. The Hells Angels are a complex entity, a microcosm of society. Understanding them means looking beyond stereotypes. They are more than just the sum of their rap sheet. Riding off into the sunset, the enduring allure of the open road. We've ridden a long road together, haven't we? Through the roar of engines, the haze of history, the heart of a brotherhood few truly understand. We've explored the origins of the Hells Angels, those post-war rebels who found solace in the open road and the strength of the pack. We've delved into their code of conduct, the unwritten rules that govern their lives, the loyalty and respect that bind them together. We've seen the media's portrayal, the monster they've created in the public's mind, but we've also glimpsed behind the curtain, seen the fathers, the sons, the men who bleed, laugh and love, just like the rest of us. We've acknowledged the darkness, the controversies, the violence that has at times stained their history, but we've also seen the charitable acts, the community involvement, the humanity that often gets lost in the headlines. The Hells Angels, for better or worse, have carved their place in the tapestry of American culture. crests, and the skull insignia. They are values that speak to the human condition, to our innate desire for belonging, purpose, and connection. Beyond the patches and prejudices, a call for understanding. We've learned that the truth is rarely black and white. It's a shade of grey, a complex tapestry woven from history, perception, and individual stories. Judging an entire group based on stereotypes is not only unfair but also inaccurate. Understanding requires looking beyond the surface, revealing the humanity beneath. The Hells Angels may never be fully understood by those outside their brotherhood. Their world, with its rituals and codes, exists in the margins. Acknowledging their humanity is a step towards bridging the divide. The next time you see that winged death head, remember, there's more to the story. Men behind those patches have families, dreams, and regrets. Men who have chosen a path paved with brotherhood, loyalty, and the open road. It's a path we might not all understand, but it deserves our respect. Because in the end, aren't we all just searching for a place to belong?